Well, hello everybody. Thank you for coming to the 5 C's of Content and Design Meets Discovery. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which happens to be design. So let's start off the session looking at some great design. The Cartier watch, the Lamborghini, the Tiffany diamond ring, the Baccarat crystal tumbler, the iPad, and the perfect little black dress. All of these are created by great designers. Let's take a look at Ralph Lauren. Season after season, Ralph Lauren continues to captivate us with his runway shows, his ability to put the entire collection together. When you see Ralph Lauren, you just do not think about the brand. You think about the entire lifestyle. From his bags to his shoes, to his belts, to his campaigns, you enter the world of Ralph Lauren. Giorgio Armani, another classic and famous designer of our time. Again, pay attention to the color palettes that he uses in his makeup line, how he pays attention to the detail. He transcends every single aspect of his brand through his runway shows, to his home collection, to his hotels, spas, restaurants, and even retail locations. Louis Vuitton, again, bold colors. Check out how the models are wearing checkers. The background of their runway show has a checkerboard pattern as well. Even the way they line their models up for the show captivates us. They draw us into their print campaigns, and again, their collection on their shelves looks exactly the same. Great design, great designers. These are powerful global brands that can teach us in digital a lot about how to market our applications. Let's take a look at Gucci. Again, notice the attention to detail, from the model's hair to the way that the color palette is done. When you see their campaign, when you look at their products, when you shop on their tablets, everything is extremely consistent. You look at their website when you shop, you check out their lookbooks, from their retail stores to their storefront windows, to their mobile websites. Even when you listen to the sound of Gucci, you're entering the world of Gucci. Look at their Pinterest pages. Everything is extremely consistent, to Facebook, to their Twitter pages, to their YouTube pages. They teach us about style. They also teach us about status. They also teach us about the 5 C's of content. They deliver consistent content every single season. From fall to spring to winter to summer, every single season they captivate us. They deliver this to a cool and hip community. They deliver compelling campaigns that stick in our minds. They have multiple commerce channels that ultimately drive very large conversions. Ralph Lauren, Prada, and Burberry are over $4 billion brands. Tiffany, Cartier, and Hermes between $5 and $6 billion brands. Gucci at $9.4 billion, and doubling that is Louis Vuitton. I've had the privilege of working with these designers and these designer brands. I started my career off as a high fashion model. I was really fortunate to work with talented artists, directors, producers, photographers, makeup artists, stylists, and really understand what it takes to have these brands and touch and feel the fabrics from when you walk into the stores and the entire experience. That's what I think we can learn from digital. When I experienced my career as a model, I also realized that there was a lot of smoke and mirrors that affected young girls, which inspired me to create Supergirl 24/7. This is an application geared for teenage girls where they can learn to love themselves, know themselves, and be themselves. The application is designed to help girls feel more confident. We teach the power of positive thinking, goal setting, affirmations, posture and etiquette, and style and beauty, using fashion and modeling as a tool to teach these things. How do you interact and teach a teenage girl something like that? They don't want to hear self-esteem, but they definitely want to hear fashion, they definitely want to hear designer, and they definitely like beauty. This brand started very organically. I had a passion for teaching young girls how to feel more confident and started working with 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls, developing their talents, and realized as beautiful as someone was on the inside, they didn't express that on the outside unless they felt good about themselves on the inside. So this talent development program has been tested and proven, and girls I've worked with are on the covers of magazines and print campaigns and commercials that you see out today. This inspired the application, which is an HTML5 application where girls can come in and create their own life, and dream books. They sign in, they're exposed to a 52-page graphic novel. We also teach them about positive affirmations. We talk about things like fear, balance, their careers, how to make them successful in all aspects of their lives. We address issues like body image. When they come into their books, they can design. We want them to have their own world within the Supergirl community. They can design their own life by using backgrounds and colorful brands and stickers and borders, all using the Supergirl characters. We want them to also create a workbook. So we have different sections where they can come in and write about their unique gifts and talents. They can also discover what makes them happy, what makes them feel unique, what makes them fulfilled within their life. There's a series of ebooks, music, original scores. We really involve the social aspect here where we have young girls who are talented actually send us their music and describe a platform for them to come in and showcase their talents, and other girls as well to do that. With merchandise and the website and what's happened, we've done over 1 billion impressions to date with our video content and content pods. Zorbit's Math Adventure is the next item I would like to talk to you guys about. I was lucky enough to be the lead game designer on this project, and it was really fun to design a game for preschoolers. But it also provided some challenges for us to look at. Obviously, that age demographic, they can't read yet. So we wanted to make a game that was exceptional, that was better than most educational games out in the marketplace. We did this by creating a fantastic character named Zorbit. Zorbit's a space alien who wants to travel to planet Earth. He cannot get there until he collects all of his power stars to power his spaceship. We wanted to make sure that when we were designing this game, that kids were not taken to all kinds of different pop-ups or upsells. That's really frustrating for me as a mom when I buy my child a game or I produce a free game, and 2 minutes later they're asking me, hey, can you buy this, or where's this page, and they're redirected. So when designing Zorbit's Math Adventure, there's nothing like that within this game. Again, it was broken down into 6 levels since it is an educational game. The children do have to go through each level as they play. However, they don't have to buy anything more when they're upselling to each level. We wanted to create a fun environment with really engaging characters. It was important because there are no text cues, there's no real menu in here besides a home, a pause, and a music icon that kids could navigate through the game by themselves. We also wanted to make sure that the narrative in the game was really fun and exciting and drew the kids in. This is our tutorial level where they're trying to wake up Zorbit. He can't wake up, so they have to drop and drag different items across the room, which makes a ton of noise and really keeps the kids engaged right from the start of the game. Teaching concepts of numbers 1 to 5, 6 to 10. We did this by putting a gumball machine in there. Anybody that has kids knows they like gumball machines and putting coins in machines a lot. Talking about the characters of the game again, this is Zippy and this is Zippy's pet Oswald. Teaching kids to count to 15 is a tough concept. One-to-one matching, more or less, separating groups inside and outside. How do you teach these concepts in a fun way, design a game that inspires and entertains kids as well as keeps parents happy? Oswald's a kind of picky little character. So when you're feeding him the fruits, you have to put the different numbers in his mouth. Kids get to plant the seeds to grow his garden, and then he eats the fruit. Keeping the kids entertained, Oswald doesn't have a lot of manners. He actually burps sometimes and even makes a little poop. The kids love it. This is Marty. He comes on the next level of the game. Again, Marty sings a lot of songs, counts, and is really interactive with the kids as they go through this game. We teach concepts of counting all the way up to 20, how to recognize the numbers 11 through 15. This was an interesting level too because this is teaching children ascending and descending. How do you teach a concept to kids around ascending and descending numbers when sometimes they don't even recognize that? So in designing this, we needed to make sure that we had kind of a matching game as well as a teaching and counting game going through here. On the next level, we teach about shapes, and kids, as you know, they get a lot of boo-boos, so we wanted to add a kind of fun element here where we take Band-Aids and we drop and drag them onto the spaceships in order to repair them. On the final level, we teach left, middle, right, top and bottom in colors. This is Chirp. She's a spunky little character who runs the spaceship repair. You can come in here and you can add the engines to the bottom of the ship and the nose cones to the top of the ship, and this is really teaching kids the left, middle, right, top and bottom concept, and then moving them into learning their colors where they can color the ship any way they would like. Going back to the original design on this, we wanted to make sure that the game transcended not just from the children's hand into the tablet, but that it also transcended outside of the game. As a mom, it's really important for me. I do let my kids play with the iPad. Sometimes I have a little guilt about it, but that I could do something with my kids that also interacted with them. For example, we created an entire line of content marketing segments around arts and crafts for this game. So we took the characters and we created art segments around counting with Zippy and creating and feeding Oswald. These are things that moms and parents can do with their kids at the kitchen table. Play-Doh time with Zorbit. Learning shapes with Scrambler. This is a great game for kids to play. Recycled spaceships with Chirp. Creating jetpacks with Marty. And even singing numbers with King Rooster. Zorbit's Math Adventure is launching in August, and we're very excited about the launch. Which brings me to discovery. All of these games are great, all of these ideas are great, but without discovery, we still have a problem. With over 7,500 apps entering the App Store every single week, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and YouTube being where most people plan to market and promote their games, this is simply not enough. TV cannot go overlooked. Americans watch 34 hours of TV per week compared to an hour of online video. Soma is really excited to announce the launch of our App and Game Discovery channel. We can learn a lot from what we learned about high fashion design. Seasonal content delivered on a regular basis that engages customers around their interest. Soma is launching our App and Game Discovery channel with a company called Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Sinclair Broadcasting Group has 35% of the US television market and stations like Fox, ABC, CW, MyTV, CBS, and NBC. We deliver seasonal content and a commerce channel that can help you with your brand and your app and its discovery. We deliver content around health and inspiration, fashion and beauty, travel and luxury, food and wine, business and leadership, kids and family, and apps and games. We really feel like a call to action from television is essential to drive app downloads and discovery. What we do is we create TV tune-ins that drive people to a smartphone, online, or tablet platform. We engage them when they get to these platforms through videos, images, articles, and promotional offers that ultimately drive people to your app store or point of sale. Going back to fashion, it's very hard as a developer to take everything you're doing to launch your brand, your game, your app, and then all of the marketing that it takes to put on top of that. Soma creates seasonal content following back to school, essentials for fall, the Peekaboo issue for October, the best of issue for November, and the holiday issue for December. We have advertising opportunities that come around seasonal gift guides, channel sponsorship, as well as product placement. Channel sponsorship allows you to have your sponsor logo, a hyperlink to your site, featured video stories, weekly Facebook post, weekly Twitter post, ad banners, pre-roll advertising, channel takeovers, as well as on-air mentions across television. We also have lower cost options with packages starting from $250 for an app discovery, $500 for videos, as well as $1,000 for photos, images, and articles. We're in about 84 markets now. Sinclair has just purchased some more stations, which will be in about 140 stations following that. I won't go through the whole list of stations. So that's my presentation on design meets discovery, and I'd like to open it up now to any questions. No questions. You must have done a solid job.
Okay, I have one. That's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
And I was curious with the Orbit?
Zorbit's Math,
sorry,
yes.
Zorbit. When you guys were working with the curriculum for that, were you following Common Core standards? I mean, how
Yes,
did you guys design and define for that?
So this was produced by a company called Best Boy Entertainment out of Canada, and they worked with a team of educators, and they follow the US Common Core curriculum. So it was brought to the design team with, a list of, core kind of, educational concepts that needed to be designed, and then they brought it to us and said, how are we going to do this in a fun way that's not like every other math game out there? And that's where, they've really added a lot of educational concepts, but they've put a lot of story into it. The game is 6 different levels and probably takes a kid, 30, 40 minutes to play through the entire game experience. There's, cut scenes involved, which are, 2-3 minutes, and really get the child engaged in the story.
And since you are trying to come in core, and I know you talked a lot about sort of a B2C model and using channels and
Sure.
more sort of a linear mindset to get into digital, are you also thinking of the B2E market and using sort of leveraging teachers?
Yeah,
give to the
absolutely.
home?
They have kind of both. They have a marketing plan that sort of targets both. So they're definitely hitting the educational market and getting teachers and tutors and homeschoolers, as well as trying to go direct to the consumer as well.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.